डॉक्टर चंदेल।
अभी नहीं पापा।
चंदेल सर, और सर वीडियो भी चालू कर लीजिए।
ठीक है, हाँ अब हो गया। हाँ जी,
यस सर, इसके बाद।
लेकिन मेरी स्क्रीन पे कुछ नहीं आ रहा अभी भी।
सर आपकी स्क्रीन पे आ रहा है, आप दिख रहे हैं हमको।
अच्छा,
डीजी सर भी लाइव है।
अच्छा ठीक है, मतलब मैं कुछ नहीं देख पा रहा हूँ, मेरे पास सिर्फ आपका पोस्टर नजर आ रहा है।
आप पोस्टर में स्टॉप कर देता हूँ सर, 2 मिनट।
हाँ कुछ कर दीजिए।
इज इट ओके सर?
हाँ एक सेकेंड। हाँ
सर को
हाँ,
स्पॉटलाइट
कैन
कर
यू सी मी
देता
ना?
हूँ। यस सर,
हाँ
डीजी
आप
सर
ठीक,
लाइव
बिल्कुल
है।
ठीक। हाँ साहब बिल्कुल ठीक है, परफेक्ट। हाँ भटनागर साहब कैसे हैं आप?
बिल्कुल ठीक है।
परफेक्ट परफेक्ट, आई एम ऑल सेट।
Sir, with your permission, can we start, sir?
5 मिनट रुक जाए डॉक्टर नमदा
Yes,
से
sir.
पूछ।
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah, okay, now it's clear. हाँ सब मैं यहीं पे ऐसे बैठना चाहता हूँ, बताओ। इसके साथ मैं अपनी कंप्यूटर पोजीशन में बैठा हूँ। हाँ जी, आप देखो। मैं बिल्कुल ठीक, नहीं मैं बिल्कुल ठीक हूँ। बस नहीं, ठीक लग रहा है, ठीक जा रहा है। बिल्कुल साफ आ रही है। जितना 5 मिनट वेट कर रहे हो, कह रहे मैं इतना बाथरूम हूँ, हाँ लाइट ठीक है, ठीक लाइट लाइट फर्स्ट क्लास। बिल्कुल कैमरा देख, कैमरे तो बताता है मेकअप का सारा। कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, चलता है चलता है चलता है। बाथरूम जाके आ गया आराम से, 5 मिनट वेट करें
नीचे वाला
इधर से टेढ़ा ना गुरुजी पे था किससे बैठे ना उसका ठीक है जो ऐसे कंफर्टेबल होकर बैठे हैं तो उस हिसाब से बैलेंस कर रहा है।
आईपैड पर है वो, मैं बैठती हूँ
फोन को साइलेंट कर
तो मुझे जाना पता ही है।
इसको चेक कर लिया टेढ़ा ना लग रहा तो ठीक है। इधर इधर ऐसे उधर से बैठे
कैसे बैठना चाहिए देखना जरा।
चलिए शुरू करें जी।
सर बोल रहा हूँ
I think we can start now.
Yes, sir.
Good morning and welcome to day 3, Abhigyata Parv 2020. Today, we have with us eminent guest speaker of the day, Dr. Amar Singh Chandel, sir, Honorable Director General ICIP IMAR, Shri Arun S. Bhatnagar, sir, Ex-Principal Commissioner, Chief Administrative Officer, Colonel Rakesh Sharma, sir, Principal IST, Dr. Keshav Patidas, sir, Principal IIP, Dr. Dinesh Mishra, sir, Principal IMR, Dr. Simranjit Sardar, ma'am, all the dignitaries, IST, IP, IMR, faculty and staff members, and dear students, we welcome you all. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce Dr. Amar Singh Chandel, sir, authored 3 hugely popular self-help books, Cure Yourself Naturally, Stretch to Serenity, and best-selling Perfect Health in 20 Weeks. Sir has been practicing integral yoga, naturopathy, and holistic healing for the past more than 3 decades and helped thousands of persons get rid of incurable diseases only through lifestyle changes without the help of any medicine. He is the recipient of Haryana Ratna Award instituted by the All India Conference of Intellectuals. Weight management and natural enhancement of the body's capacity to heal itself are his specialty. The comprehensive stretch reduction program that he teaches has helped a large number of people get rid of emotional difficulties like depression, tension, mood swings, excessive sensitivity, and anger. He has done his diploma in naturopathy and yogic sciences from All India Nature Cure Federation, New Delhi, in First Division. He has been delivering lectures on subjects like health for busy professionals, in various universities, colleges, and reputed organizations in India and abroad. Besides, he is visited regularly to Jalandhar Doordarshan TV station to answer viewers' health and nutrition related queries. His talks are also broadcast on Chandigarh 91.2 FM, Harman Radio, Australia, and ATN Network, Canada. He is a journalist by profession and holds MA, BSc, BJ, LLB degrees. He retired as associate editor of Tribune, Chandigarh, after 34 years of service, and now writes for such publication as the Times of India, the Indian Express, the Daily Post, and the Economic Times. He has visited many foreign countries. To name them, few are America, England, France, Germany, Italy, Egypt, and China. May I request, sir, to please throw light on today's topic, friendly phone can be a killer and cure from food. Sir, please.
Good morning to you all. Today I've got two topics, not one, two topics. One is what we put in our pocket, which is your phone, and two, what you put in your stomach, the food. So I'll begin with the phone and then go on to your food part. I'm not able to see you, but I can guess that at least half of you must have signed up on your mobile phone, whether it is on the Facebook or it is on your YouTube. You must have signed in on the phone itself. More important, I can bet that all of you must be carrying a phone with you. There won't be anybody without a phone. Now, since you have it from very young age, you don't know what a blessing it is. Only those who belong to my age group, they would know that mobile phone or cell phone is a huge force multiplier. It's a wonderful thing. Because in my time, leave alone cell phone, even an ordinary phone was a luxury. Every phone was a luxury. You won't believe it, but to even get a landline phone, you had to wait for years altogether. I distinctly remember in my early journalistic career, I was authorized a phone at my household. So I got a phone, landline phone, of course. And the then Union Minister of Telecommunication sent me a private personal message. Dear Mr. Chandel, I am glad to offer you an out-of-turn landline phone. The Union Telecommunication Minister. So it was such a huge thing to get a phone. But it was a curse in disguise. When you're the only one on the street to have a phone, one thing is that everybody used to come to your house to make a phone call. And two, if there was any tragedy, you had to go and inform the people. You got the phone call and then you went out to inform the people. So it was a huge burden also. The best part is that you were totally tied to your household if you were to receive a phone call. You could not move out much. You may not believe it, when Indira Gandhi was the Prime Minister and she was to announce her cabinet, some of the MPs would not move out of their house. They would be housebound. Who knows, Madam may call. So it was that kind of a restrictive phone. So I used to dream. I used to think that there should be some advancement in the science that we should be able to get the call even when we are outside our house. And everybody used to laugh at me. How can you have a call when you are out of your house? There has to be a wire. It has to be connected. We were lucky that we got mobile phones pretty soon. In our own lifetime, we have this tiny little gadget in our hands. So it's a great blessing. But our problem is that we always overuse a blessing. Today, we are virtually addicted to our phones, completely addicted. And we do not know where we are headed. These things leave their mark on your body over not a year or two, but over decades. It can show its effects in 20 years, 30 years, and the whole thing is very new. Leave alone the long-term result, we are not even in mid-term results. And already things are getting out of hand. So nobody is saying that stop using your phone, but you should be very cautious about how much to use and how to use. That will be the first part of my discussion with you. The more you know about this phone, the more you're scared of it. Suddenly you realize that it is very dangerous gadget. It can also create problems for you. By the way, since I'm on the talk, I'm not able to read your questions. So I would recommend to all of you that if you have a question to ask, send it to me on the WhatsApp, and I'm speaking my number. Please note down my number and send your questions on the WhatsApp message only. It is 95417 95417 00001. 95417 00001 is my number. If you have any queries, feel free to send to me on the WhatsApp. Then I can read it more easily. Otherwise, I'll have to keep on poking my nose into the phone and read your messages. Okay. So while using it, we should know that there are dangers involved. Why? Every mobile phone emits radiation called the microwave radiation. And it can be really, really bad for you. Not many of you may know it, but this radio frequency electromagnetic radiation has been declared by the WHO as a possible human carcinogen. That means it can cause cancer. They're talking only about possibility, but there are other things which are pretty confirmed, that those who are heavy users of phone, that means they are on the phone for more than 2 hours a day, they are 50% more likely to develop brain cancer. So we should be aware of this fact. Why? Because your brain receives 220 electromagnetic impulses every minute when you're on the phone. And it can cause you what is called glioma and acoustic neuroma. This glioma is the most common cancerous brain tumor, and most gliomas are malignant. Acoustic neuromas are benign tumors of the acoustic nerve that can cause deafness.
नेट नहीं चल रहा है। देखो मैडम, that
This may be the price you have to pay. So one has to be really, really careful.
spotlight है ना?
You see, the Radiation and Nuclear Safety Authority in Finland did a 2-year study which says that it causes you brain tissue damage. So you are causing yourself tremendous harm if you use it so extensively. I'm also reading your message simultaneously. Yes, I'll be answering all the questions, but only at the end. And at the same time, I'd request all of you to mute your phones because I'm having to listen to your conversation, which can be a little problematic. Yeah. So you can understand the problem with your brain issues, but that is not the only problem. There are so many other problems. These effects may come to you in a long term. That does not mean that they'll not come. Many things have a long-term effect. Initially, they're very good, but then you realize that the damages become known much later in life. I'm sure you have heard of the Roman Empire. They were filthy rich and the empire was really big. And they had just come across, they'd invented a new metal, which was costlier than gold in those days. And who should have such costly things? The kings. So they replaced their plates and other utensils with this new metal, which was costlier than gold. And this metal was lead. At that time, nobody knew that it is so harmful. The result was that in one generation, they started having imbecile people. So the effects take a long term to come. Just because so far you have not had brain tumor doesn't mean that you're safe forever. But that is not the only issue. It may take a little longer. There are other issues which are already manifesting themselves. Brain problem, of course, but there are many other issues. It definitely influences your nervous system. It greatly affects your nervous system. And it can also lead to headache and migraine. Extensive use of phones can also cause skin irritation, especially on your face. Incidentally, this condition is called electro-hypersensitivity. So be very careful when you're using phone extensively. One more problem is that, which teachers must be already noticing. Those who have been teaching for quite some time, they must have noticed it already. The attention span of those who use mobile phone keeps on getting reduced. I'm sure you've heard the jokes about the fish having very short memory. I'm sure you have seen that movie, famous, iconic movie called Finding Nemo. So the fish forgets everything very quickly. It is conjectured that they have a memory span of 9 seconds. They cannot remember anything beyond 9 seconds. But in the people who use your mobile phone extensively, this attention span has come down to 8 seconds. This is where we are headed. You cannot focus on something, and what is expected from a student? Focusing on something. So if you're serious about your career, you should be very particular about minimizing your time with the phone. As if that is not enough, it has a lot many psychological effects. One major problem they'll face is shortness of temper. They will fly into a rage very easily. If you're noticing it, then you know who to blame. It is your phone in your pocket. At the same time, it will cause you sleep disorders. You may not be able to fall asleep at the right time. And even if you fall asleep, it will be very disturbed sleep. These are some of the proven results of the phones, which the makers of the phones want to dismiss, but we as users should be aware of. At the same time, it can also lead to depression. That is a major factor. That joy that you have in the youth, which was a common factor in the people of a previous generation who did not have the benefit of the phone, that is becoming more and more serious. You won't know it probably, but when the phones had just come in 1976, the mobile phones, of course, it was the receiver who had to pay for it. The one who was receiving the phone had to pay for it. Today, it is like any other phone. So we are always eager to pick up a call, whether it is useful or not. We are very eager to pick it up, and we end up spending too much time on that, and that can be dangerous. So better avoid yourself. The main issue is that the younger you are, the more vulnerable you are. We have made it into a toy even for our young kids. Please notice the most vulnerable are pregnant women and infants. So don't do that drama of putting that phone next to their ear. Avoid that. Because they are the most vulnerable. Why? Because the bone marrow of a child, his head absorbs 10 times more radiation than adults. 10 times. So obviously he is more vulnerable. And the worst part with this is that this can lead to phone addiction. You get addicted to it. Check yourself. You may be able to see a sign of it in either yourself or somebody close to you. They cannot be comfortable if they are away from their phone even for 5 minutes. They have to look at their SMS box even when they know that there has been no ping sound. Cut them out from the phone, they are almost like dead. So these are all signs of phone addiction. So watch out for that. Because besides making you an introvert and a very bad one, it will also ensure that you will be very uncomfortable with anybody in face-to-face communication. Have you noticed that? That young cousin of yours may not be very communicative face-to-face. On the Facebook, he may be wonderful, but face-to-face, he may be a different person. So you should be very wary of this kind of problems that some people face. And I talked about the problems to the children. Even the adults face this serious issue because this also affects male reproductive system. Keeping it in your pocket is a guarantee to reduce your sperm count. So one has to be very careful about that factor also. Then there's another major issue. Any ophthalmologist will tell you that our eyes are designed to look at things which are at least 6 feet away. So even reading a book is a strain for us. It strains our eyes. But they're at least 18 inches away. The phone has now come over to 9 inches and it puts tremendous strain on your eyes. And then the short wavelength blue light that it emits, that is particularly known for eye strain and pain. So you may be damaging your eyes, especially your cornea is greatly affected. If you watch the TV, if you use the phone for more than 2 hours, your eyes may begin to burn and itch. You may have blurred vision. You may have eye fatigue. And this is called digital eye strain. The problem gets magnified if you use your phone, especially for messaging or something else, when the room is very dark. Then the contrast makes it even more difficult for you to handle that, and your eyes are further damaged. And with this kind of physical issues, you will have irritability and aggressiveness. You will be flying off your handle very easily. So that risk is always there. Then there's so many other body parts which are equally affected. Neck problem. This is called the text neck. If you are doing too much of texting on the phone, it will have effect on your neck. This is called occipital neuralgia. There's a nerve called occipital nerve that is at the base of your neck. It will get compressed and you will have constant neck problem. And you won't even know what has hit you. The same is the case with your thumb. They are also called text thumbs. If you use them extensively, if the phone is very expensive and very ergonomically designed, then the problem is minimized. But with the ordinary phone, if you're doing too much of texting, you will have issues with your thumbs also. The same is the case with your elbow. Your elbow is greatly affected. Again, keeping it bent in a certain angle, it creates complications there also. Our main issue is that we have started carrying your phone everywhere. It goes with us wherever you go. And they are a magnet for germs. If you're also carrying your phone to your bathroom, then you are carrying your germs with you. E. coli and other things can stick to them very easily because of you must have seen this. Anything which generates radiation picks up dirt very easily. And it is again a magnet for superbugs like MRSA. In one of the studies done some years ago, it was found that 1 in 6 cell phones had fecal matter on it. So it is that bad. So you have to be really careful. And I haven't even talked about the chances of car accidents. We all think that nothing would happen to me, but even 1 second of your removing your attention from the road has led to such tragic accidents that you can't even believe. And why even just driving, even when you are walking. So it's not a joke. People have banged into your lampposts and whatnot, and they've fallen down because they were walking and texting. So these things do not go together. And when this becomes obsessive love for your phone, it also leads to what is called OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. So watch out for that. So OCD is possible. Anxiety is very common. Recently, University of Granada in Spain, they conducted a wide study. They found that this was also responsible for obesity and diabetes. Okay, and I talked about the elbow also. That is called cubital tunnel syndrome. So it is almost like your tennis elbow. So about that also you have to be careful. Then I've already talked about the hearing damage. The problems are so big that a person called Adam Alter has written a full, I think, 359-page book called Irresistible, the rise of addictive technology. So if you find time, do read this book, and he talks in great detail about how many problems it causes. And if by chance, now you are very young, but if you have an old person who has got a pacemaker or any other equipment, watch out, then this affects those also. So this in short is the situation. Let's now talk about solutions. Nobody is telling you to stop using the phone. You have to use them. But what is the precautions to be taken? There are several of them. Read the manual of any phone. The first thing they tell you is that it should not be pressed against your ear. Always keep it 1 inch away. Don't squeeze it there. Keep it 1 inch away. If necessary, use the Bluetooth or some headphone, or if nothing else, at least use the speakers. Who's stopping you from using the speakers? Speakers. Those are some of the precautions you have to take. At the same time, keep on changing from one ear to the other. Do not always keep your phone to your left ear or the right ear. Keep switching from one to the other. Okay? And cut down the duration of your talk. Just do not keep on talking for too long. That is coming at the cost of absorbing so much of microwave radiation. Also, cut down the number of phone calls. The minimum number you can you just have to make, keep it to that. Don't have too many of them. And I told you this reduces your sperm count, so avoid keeping it in your pocket. At night, keep it as far away from your bed as possible. Why not switch it off? Nighttime, set up a deadline, maybe after from 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. Just keep it off. It'll also prolong the life of your phone. So that precaution should be taken. And just because the screens of the phone have become pretty large, do not use it as a mini computer or a word processor. Only do the minimum work on the mobile phone. Okay. At the same time, keep the volume down. The louder the volume, the more troublesome it is. And do not give it to very young kids. It is not a toy at all. Needless to say that you can't drive and message at the same time. Never risk that. Even if you are a very expert driver, please don't do that. And even while walking, either walk or text. Do not do both things together. Most of the phones these days have a counter which tells you how much time you have spent. So monitor your time, whatever you're spending. Do not spend too much of time on that. There should be at least one day when you are on a phone fast. How about Sunday or Tuesday? No phones at all. Humanity was surviving even without phones. So if once a day you can cut out, you'll be doing yourself great service. If nothing else, some hours, meal time should be absolutely off for phones. So that will help you in some way. So it should not be available on your dining table and your bedroom. So maintain the distance with this one. You should be especially careful when your phone is showing that the signal is weak. That is the time when the radiation is the maximum. So avoid using at that time. If you need to keep yourself occupied, play some actual game than playing Candy Crush. That is no game. Avoid doing that. Being physically active would be a great antidote against the problems caused by your phone. And even if it is more comfortable, don't be big on reading your books on the screen. You are again risking drawing so much of light into your eyes that blue light is no good for you. minimum reading on the screens. So you better read your actual books. And even while buying your telephone, check out its SAR, that is specific absorption rate. The cheaper phones are more dangerous. Invest in a good phone and you'll be better off. So having said that, I should quickly go through your messages and I'll answer as many questions I can, and then I'll pass on to the next topic. Okay. I'll not take too long on the questions. Mobile, do the laptops and computer have similar side effect? Yes, they do. The only thing is that the screen is bigger and then they're at some distance. So you have to be more careful about your mobile phone than anything else. Sir, when I study on mobile, I automatically turn to listen to songs and comedy videos. How can I control this problem? By your own willpower. When you know that this is a challenge with you, you can be digressing into other things. You must avoid that. Okay. If you want to stop the use of mobile phones but can't due to addiction, what should we do? Of course, you will have withdrawal symptoms. That's why I said, cut out the phone for at least brief periods. You must train yourself. Take the help of some family elder. They are, in any case, feeling very eager to break your phone. They don't like it one bit, and it is rude also to be constantly on the phone when family members are sitting. So if you are not able to do it yourself, take the help of some family elder. And if he's stronger than you, it is much better. He should give you a few tight slaps also. That will help. Once you know that you are addicted, you need help. Okay. रिस्पेक्टेड सर, मैं हिंदी मीडियम स्कूल से पढ़कर आया हूं और मुझे आपकी स्पीच थोड़ी ही समझ आ रही है सर। मैं समझने की पूरी कोशिश कर रहा हूं बट समझ नहीं पा रहा। सो माय क्वेश्चन इज, मुझे इस कंडीशन में क्या करना चाहिए? मैं आपको अभी बता चुका हूं आपको क्या करना चाहिए, तो आपके कोई दोस्त अगर सुन रहा है तो वो आपको क्लियर कर देगा कि क्या करना चाहिए। ऑल राइट, सम वेरी गुड क्वेश्चंस। Should I limit my reading or stop it altogether? Don't stop it. Use it for reading something which is worthwhile. But as far as possible, if you can have it in the book form, then don't go for the computers. This answer is not connected. This is what makes you smile and what scares you most. Well, smile makes me smile, and not being able to answer your questions, that scares me. So this is one question which is scaring me. We easily get diverted to Instagram and WhatsApp and YouTube. How to get rid of those? That is the challenge. You have to be very particular. You see, this phone is for you. You are not for the phone. There's no point in making your phone smart and being a stupid fellow yourself. Please use it for the purpose for which you spent so much money. Today, the phone costs as much as a second-hand car. Why waste it? Use it for the purposes for which you bought it. How can one manage your work on the phone in short time to protect yourself from the disadvantages of the phone? That is the whole idea. Do only productive work. Don't do the destructive work. If you fall in that trap, you are finished. Okay. Questions are really flowing in. I'll take another 5 minutes to answer the questions. Then we have the other topic also to discuss. But I'm glad students are showing interest. What about programmers or graphic designers who spend hours in front of their laptops? They have a very poor old age. Very poor. That is the problem. Any kind of thing which sends in so much radiation comes at a huge price to pay. Just because they're not suffering today does not mean that it will not come later. If you want, some people are by force having to listen to all that. I'll give you a solution. Not that, since you can't stop using your phone and even the other laptops and all, this applies to all things, your iPhone, your iPad, and also your laptop. This is called the formula of 20-20-20. Would you remember that? Easy to remember? 20-20-20. That is, after every 20 minutes, remove your eyes from the screen of this laptop, iPad, or iPhone for 20 seconds. After every 20 minutes, stop staring at your screen for 20 seconds and look at something which is at least 20 feet away. If you're in a small room, look out of the window. That will help you to some extent. And also squeezing your eyes, clenching your eyes helps. Those are the tricks you have to keep on applying. Can you please tell the name of the book one time more? Certainly. Start writing. Somebody, I'm sure there must be other people also interested in knowing the name of the book. The author is Adam Elter, and the name of the book is Irresistible: The Rise of Addictive Technology. That is the name of the book. It's a huge book, 368 pages, and full of the problems that I've just told to you in brief. So you can refer to this book also. How we avoid our mobile phones. This is what the whole thing is. You have to apply these tricks. At the time of COVID, most of the things are online, and especially studies and education. So how do the students manage? Especially in the COVID times, since you have to study online, stop doing your other destructive things online. This is the time when you have to say goodbye to the other occupations on the phone or the laptop for that matter. Use it only for something which can benefit you in some way, right? Now, this is not question in my domain, but there are times when you can't achieve what you want. How to stay positive? Be positive that you are alive. That itself is an achievement. Ask somebody who's in a hospital and dying. So you are better off, be positive. Does that answer your question? I hope so. Yeah, the same question about COVID, not a problem. Yeah, this again, the repeat of the same question. So I think I've answered the question about the COVID times for most of you. Students do not know what is going to happen in their life in future. It is very hard to determine your path. What will happen if you don't succeed? You'll be still alive and you'll be still happy. Success has many definitions. Right now, only one thing is expected of you. Study as hard as you can. You cannot escape studying. Study as hard. The harder you work, the luckier you become. That is established. The more work you put in, the greater are the chances of Lady Luck smiling on you. So smile yourself, smile back, and you can make some great progress. As we know that digital literacy is a critical aspect of young people. A mobile phone could both be positive and negative depending on how a user uses it. How do we use it in a proper way? You answered your question, my dear friend. Use it positively. Don't use it for things which will not pay you any dividends. Rather, they'll cost you a lot. Okay. Yeah, of course, they're used for education purposes. And that is the only purpose for they should be used. Because in the virus time, you well know it that you will be forced to spend some time on the laptop, then cut down the time elsewhere. If you keep on spending time, you have to, before somebody else puts discipline on you, won't it be easier to do it yourself? Why do you want your parents or your teachers to cut down your time? You cut it down yourself. Self-control is the best control, isn't it? सारी जानकारियां तो मोबाइल से मिलती हैं, बिल्कुल मिलती हैं, लेकिन जानकारियां ही लीजिए, जान मत लीजिए। जानकारी तो ठीक है, जब हम अपनी जान लेने पे उतर आते हैं तो गड़बड़ हो जाती है। So the problem arises if you are so brilliant that you are only studying the whole day, then probably it is worth it. But suffering all those problems just because you cannot control your urge to look into other things, then that is your fault. Okay. Yeah, most of the questions are, I've already answered those questions. Oh, can we do exercises for eyes? That's a good question. Let's take a break here. Not a break. Let's discuss this issue. Like any other muscle, your eyes also need exercise. I just told you one, clenching your eyes. And since most of your students, I should tell you an exercise which is fun also. There's so many eye exercises, but I'll give you some fun exercises. Do you know your alphabet? ABC? Okay. All you have to do is imagine that your eyes are a laser light and you have to make those letters on the wall in front. So let's make a A. Did you make a A? Same way now make B. Let's make a D, C and a D. First do all the capital letters, then come down to the lowercase letters. And then why not shift to Hindi? Many of you message that we are from the Hindi medium. तो आ तो आता होगा ना? मुझे नहीं पता आप में सबको अपना आ सबको आता है कि नहीं। उसको बनाइए सारे को, वो जरा और भी इंग्लिश से भी ज्यादा मुश्किल होता है। जब आप री वगैरह बनाओगे ना अपनी आंखों से, तो बहुत बढ़िया एक्सरसाइज हो जाएगी। तो सो मेनी एक्सरसाइजेस, तो वो करते रहिए, आंखों की एक्सरसाइज बहुत बेनिफिशियल होती है। Should we be watching TV to avoid mobile phone for mind refreshment, or what do we want to do? This is jumping out of the frying pan and going straight into the fire. If you have to shift only from your smartphone to your idiotic TV, then you're not doing yourself any good. Screen is a screen. Cut down the time you spend in front of the screen. Even sitting here doing this is a torture for me. Minimize it. Cut it down to the bare minimum. Otherwise, there'll be a huge price to pay. All right, good questions are on. Yeah, I'm sorry, but they're very good questions, but we'll have to now shift to the other topic. We have talked enough about what you'll be putting in your pocket. Now let's also talk about your food habits. Have you seen a person working on the street, on the roadside, a laborer? Can you put that kind of hard work in a day? Can you, I mean, wherever you are, you must have seen them all around. They must be carrying 6 or 8 bricks on their head, and they must be climbing up the stairs to the 3rd floor or the 4th floor. Can we do that? Most of us can't. In exactly the same way, just as we cannot put in so much of work, we cannot eat the same kind of food that they can eat. And we can also not eat as much food as they can eat. It is totally need-based. We go wrong on both fronts. We go wrong on the quantity also and the quality also. Have you heard the term junk food? You would say, not only have we heard it, we love to use it. Of course, it's so tasty. The junk food or the fast food is bound to be tasty. But please remember, the place where you throw junk is called what? Junkyard. And what does a junkyard have? Stink, flies, germs, and pests. You are into a cerebral kind of a profession. You are studying. Can you afford to have all those things inside you? You can't. You see, their job is to make their food so attractive that you cannot say no to it. And your job is to ensure that you don't fall in this honey trap. You cannot have either a good body or a good mind with bad food. There's a saying in English which goes, a healthy mind in a healthy body. And the saying in Hindi is even more elaborate. It says, Jaisa an, vaisa tan, vaisa man. As is your food, so is your body, and so is your mood. It is you who has to decide what kind of body you want and what kind of mind you want. I'm sure both of these things are greatly relished by you people. You need both of them to be really good. So, just as the smartphone comes with some dangers, your food also comes with a lot of dangers involved. Fast food is your fast tag to sickness. If you use it once in a while, it is perfectly okay. It is meant to be something celebratory. Once in a fortnight, you go out and have a fast food lunch or dinner, no harm in it. Body can handle it. At your age, it can withstand a lot. But if you make it that your staple food, then your next staple food is going to be medicines. So you are into demanding a profession to be able to do any hanky-panky with the food that you eat. First of all, wean away from the junk food, and at the same time, fast food should be only kept reserved for special occasions. The more processed the food is, the more problems it is going to create for you. See, as far as the food industry is concerned, it is the majority of nature. Nature wants you to eat only what nature has made. The simplest food is the best. You just have to decide whether something has been grown in nature's plants or an industrialist plant. Anything that comes from an industrialist plant would be very detrimental to your body also and your mind also. So be very particular of the food you eat. What is the easiest signs of finding out what is good for you, what is not? In short, in this brief period, I can tell you only one thing. Be very cautious about white snakes. Any food which is too white in color is going to create problems for you. What are the white foods? Refined flour, मैदा जिसको बोलते हैं. मैदा would be terrible for you. Mawa, I don't know whether in your region it is called mawa or khoya, जिसकी बर्फी बनती है. That will again be terrible for your health. White sugar, that also will play havoc with your health. And your butter and other fats. These 4 things, nobody is asking you to simply stop eating them. They should be taken in moderation. There's so many other things made in God's pharmacy. You cannot escape them. Of course, they don't taste good. Of course, you want to enjoy this kind of food. But that is the struggle that a person who has nothing to do, he can succumb to bad food, not you people who have to study a lot. You need a different kind of fuel for your body. You have to distinctly make sure that the food is taken care of. And then at the same time, be very particular about how much you're eating. If the situation hasn't changed much in the years when I was in college, the sign of bravery is how much you can eat. Is it the same? Most likely it is. Now that may not show any impact right away. You may even be a hero of your hostel, but 20 years down the lane, you are going to be in trouble. Now you decide whether you want to live up to an old age or you want to kick the bucket before that. If you intend to be old and healthy, then you better watch out what you eat and how much you eat. And if you want to be either going away before you become gray, or you intend to spend your future days in the 5-star hospitals, then nothing needs to be said. So since you're doing most of cerebral work, if most of the job that you do is done while sitting like in a chair, then the quantity as well as the quality of the food should be greatly monitored. You cannot afford to go wrong on that. We just have this much time. There are already so many questions. I'll at the same time, I'll not answer any questions on the computers now, but there are so many other questions that I'd like to answer.
Sir, tell something about refined oil.
Oh yes, refined oil. Name is very good. Refined. You see, when we talk about a person, if we say somebody is a refined person, you have a very positive connotation. But when it comes to oil, it is a killer. It is a refined killer. You just can't have too much of it. As far as the advertisements go, they show you that it is full of health and all those technical names like MUFA and PUFA, but it hasn't improved our health too much. First of all, keep the quantity down to minimum, and at the same time, avoid refined oil as much as you can. The old ones, like your traditional cold pressed oils like mustard oil, they have been vindicated. For that matter, even butter and ghee in the right quantity have been vindicated. They're not the enemies. Refined oil hasn't proved to be as good as the copywriters make us to believe. Stay off that, minimize that. Okay. What about white radish? Safed मूली से आपका मतलब है? It's not processed now. It is made by God's pharmacy. When we're talking about white, We're talking about whether God made it. When God makes it, it is perfect, nothing to worry. But if somebody else made it, then it can be problematic for you. So it doesn't mean all whites go out. It's a question of not throw out your white girlfriend or white wife. Being white is not bad, but too much of processing should be avoided. Yeah, I answered that question. How differently this rule applies to fat and skinny person. About eating, I'm not clear about this question. How differently does this rule apply to fat and skinny person? If you mean the quantity of food, this is a misgiving in many people's mind that we are large, so we can eat more. No, if you have grown fat, you've grown fat because you're eating too much and you have to burn it off. You should be eating less than a person. A skinny person should be eating more than you. Unfortunately, all big-sized persons think that this is their license to eat more. No, you'd be ending up harming yourself. You should be eating less than a skinny person. Okay. What is the ideal nutritional diet for students? Coarse grains in place of fine grains like wheat and white rice. It should be coarse grains like millet and other coarse grains. Lots of fruits, lots of vegetables, and also lots of sprouts. That should be your first priority. Yeah. Does playing sport regularly help you prevent these problems? Yes, of course. If you're putting in more effort, if you're putting in more exercise, then you can eat more than other people. How much you're able to eat depends upon your physical activity. So if you are a foodie, then you better be a footballer also. Please be playing games also, which even if you're not a foodie, you're supposed to be playing a lot. So please keep doing that. Don't avoid that at any cost. So much of chemicals in them. Yes, of course, they're adding so many chemicals, but that is inescapable. That is everywhere. First of all, two things. Those who have a household to themselves, those who are living with the families, please promote something called kitchen garden. In place of flower beds, you should have vegetable beds. They will be your antidote against the use of chemicals. But even if you have having to buy these vegetables from the market where there's so much of chemicals, take a few precautions. First of all, if you got nothing else, at least wash them in water for a fairly long time. Just as they are telling you to wash your hands for 20 seconds, you should wash your vegetables also for at least 20 seconds, at least with plain water. If possible, you have choices which you can use. Sodium bicarbonate is an excellent choice. Meetha soda jisko bolte hain. So put all your vegetables and fruits in a big pot, pour some water, add about 1 or 2 tablespoons of sodium bicarbonate, let it soak for 20 minutes. That will reduce the quantity of the chemicals sprayed over it. If that is not available, you can use vinegar, but it should not be synthetic. Plain vinegar is very good. And if nothing else, at least add some simple salt and again soak them for some time. They will at least minimize the problem. But nothing like growing your own thing. You'll be serving yourself greatly. Okay. This is a very good question. Sir, today many of the weightlifters start using protein supplements for muscles growth. Is it safe? No, it is not. You see, your fruits, vegetables, and other things have got protein in the right quantity. If you take protein itself, it may help you in making big muscles, but 7 years later, your kidneys would be greatly damaged. Excessive protein intake is directly related to your kidney problems. If you want to avoid them, just say no to your protein supplements. Your fruits, veggies, everything has got sufficient protein. That is the kind of protein you take. We have divided food into these sections called protein and carbohydrate and fat. No, anything which is grown by nature has these things in the right balance. You don't have to bother about taking too much protein. This is the trick played by some people who want to sell some products. And I know for sure that even the gym coaches promote them in a big way. Everyone who goes for exercises to a gym is virtually at gunpoint made to have protein supplements. For God's sake, say no to that. Please don't be taken in by the propaganda. It is totally false. Are beverages like tea and coffee really good for health, or are they addictive too? Well, you'll have to make a difference between green tea and other teas. Green tea is good for you. But as far as commercial tea and coffee are concerned, they are stimulants. They don't do any good to your health in any way. By the way, I wasn't taking tea. This looks like a tea cup, but it wasn't tea. We have our own concoction. You can make it at home. So any herbal kind of tea is okay, but not the regular tea, because when you ferment it, it produces so many problems also. Okay, is superfood overrated thing? If not, then what are the best for students? I just told you that answer. Every fruit, every vegetable is a superfood. Our problem is that we want to pick up one or two. There's no superfood. Our problem is we read in a newspaper, Lahsun ke fayde, and they'll give you 50 advantages. That doesn't mean that you should be eating only lahsun. It's a question of a good combination of everything that you're using. Use regular food properly and you'll be greatly served. There's nothing called superfood. Everything is a superfood. Non-veg is healthy or not? Again, like your telephone, in the right quantity, it is okay. And the right quantity, I should tell you, even like if you are exercising for more than 1 hour per day, you should be taking 75 grams of meat in a day maximum and 300 grams per week. You cannot go beyond that. If you take too much, it is bound to create problems for you. Okay. Junk food में क्या क्या आता है? Most of the food sold in the market should fall under the category of junk food. Home food does not come in the junk food category. That should give you the answer to the question. What about sweet foods like ice cream, etc.? The total intake of sugar you can have in a day is 6 teaspoons. If your total intake is below that, you are okay. If you take too much of sugar, you are in trouble. Sugar is a honey trap. Today, we are eating 4 to 5 times more sugar than our forefathers did, and it is doing us tremendous harm. Sugar is the real culprit. Earlier, they said it is fat. No, it is not. It is the man-made sugar. But please notice this. Sweet fruits are not a problem. The problem arises with the man-made sugar also. Otherwise, you're okay. I eat very little quantity of food, but gaining weight. Why? Because you're not exercising sufficiently. If you are eating very little food and still putting on weight, that means your exercise is very short. Set apart at least 2 hours of your time only for brisk exercise where you go breathless and you will not put on any weight, my guarantee. Okay.
Sir, one question is coming repeatedly. Going to gym is bad or good?
It's not bad. Going to the gym is not bad. The only thing is that it is not necessary in these COVID times. Right now, the environment is just not right. You can do the same exercise at home also. You don't need too much of equipment. The first thing is that these fancy things, we don't need them. Your body weight is enough. You can do so many exercises in the cozy, comfortable house that you have. Use your body weight. Planks are there, push-ups are there, jumping jacks are there. So many exercises. Just do them. And if you want to buy the equipment, I only recommend 3 things: dumbbells, skipping ropes, ankle weights. I mean, out of the 1 month subscription for your gym, you will be able to buy all 3 things and they'll be serving you for life. But if you go to gym, that's your choice.
So
And if at all
treadmill
you
is
go,
somewhat dangerous, sir. Treadmill.
treadmill is very dangerous. Treadmill can be very dangerous. There's a big treadmill available in Chandigarh, and I'm told it is also available in Indore. It is called Your Earth. Walk
Yes.
walk on the earth. Treadmill is terrible for your knees. If at all you are homebound, buy a cross trainer that will exercise you better. All right. I can still answer some questions if I have. Professor Bhatnagar, do we have some time yet? Yes. Okay.
What am I, sir? We are doing organic farming in our campus. Just
Oh,
because
wonderful. So how wonderful. How
and
wonderful.
I'm emphasizing that they should participate in sports activities or games. Because
Perfect. Nothing could be better. This is the greatest service. And my young friends, even if you grow very little, that organic farming is the key. The nutrients in your organic items is 4 to 5 times more than what you have in the regular food. In very little food, you can get a lot of benefit. So
this jaggery is better option when somebody is asking. It's fine.
Jaggery is a better option, but your total quantity cannot be more than your 6 spoons, that is 30 grams. As far as you are confining yourself to your 60 grams, any day it is a good option. Drop your white sugar. White sugar is a white poison. Jaggery is much better, but that does not give you a license to have more than 30 grams. So be careful, not go overboard.
Same thing is applicable with honey, sir?
Yes, please. It also counts in your category of 30 grams. Confine yourself to that limit. Honey is very good, but only for honeybees. So if your mother is a honeybee, then it is very good. Otherwise, we are stealing their young children's food. Don't take it. Let me keep on answering the question. There's a question: losing weight requires workout, and working out makes us tired and sleepy. So good na, sleep properly. In place of tossing and turning in a bed, be sleepy. It will not affect your studies. You can do both things together. By the way, studying and these things go together. They're a very good combination. At our age, it is not possible. This is on the mobile phone. I'll not touch the mobile phone thing any longer. We have so many questions on the food itself. Should be same for cooking, or we have to change? Yeah, you can use mustard oil, peanut oil. They're good for your cooking also. There's nothing wrong with them. Doing fast is good for health or not? Yes, fasting is good. In place of fast food, have fasting. 1 day a week, you can go on fast. And if you can't do it for the whole day, at least make sure that you don't eat anything between 7 p.m. and 7 a.m. That should be good enough for most of you. If you're feeling heavy, that should be working for you. What can we use in place of white sugar? We just said it could be jaggery, or it could be, why not make do with sweet fruits? Gym question has already been answered. How about the students who are away from the home? Supplement those who are in the hostel. You can't change the hostel food. Only if if you can motivate your friends to eat healthy, only then they're going to change. But you can always supplement your hostel food with lots of fruits and lots of vegetables, and your sprouts also. That will be your key to the good health. Should we eat dry fruits or not? Yes, up to 100 grams of dry fruits can be eaten, and they not have to be necessarily very costly. Even your peanuts are a very good option. So, but not more than 100 grams. Be rather careful. What should we eat to boost our immune system? Very good question. Same thing, fruits, veggies, and sprouts. They are the best thing for your immune system also. What to eat during menstruation? Healthy food. You're in a weak condition, that is the time when you should be eating very light kind of food, and there can be nothing lighter than fruits, veggies, and sprouts. They are your top priority. Oops. Something, yeah. I got only hi, so I don't know what to reply. So I'll be obliged if you send me some questions also. How much calories should we take? Don't count calories. It's a stupid concept. And in any case, in India, you can't count calories. अब जो आपकी माँ चावल बनाती है उसकी आप क्या कैलोरीज निकालोगे भाई? छोड़िए कैलोरीज को. Just don't feel stuffed. Just eat right, that even after when you're finishing your meal, you should be still hungry. You should not be feeling stuffed. That is enough. सर हेल्थ नहीं बन रही. आप बना नहीं रहे हैं साहब. हेल्थ तो बनने को तैयार बैठी है. वो तो मरी जा रही है बनने के लिए. आप बनने नहीं दे रहे हैं उसको. अच्छा खाइए और थोड़ा जम के एक्सरसाइज कीजिए. हेल्थ का आपको रूल बना देते हैं. आपने क्योंकि हिंदी में लिखा है तो मैं भी हिंदी पे उतर आता हूं. भोजन आधा पेट कर, दुगना पानी पिए, तिगुना श्रम, चौगुन हंसी, वर्ष 125 जिए. खाना आधा खाइए, दुगना पानी पीजिए, तिगुनी मेहनत कीजिए और चौगुने हंसिए. आराम से चलिएगा. ये तैयारी कर लीजिए. जितना आप ज्यादा खाना खाएंगे उतना कम दूर जाएंगे. ये and don't be impressed by these large muscular boys. You decide whether you want to become a Ferrari car or a Volvo truck. Be really lean and thin. You'd be fine. ये हमारे यहाँ हो क्या गया है? I'm from Punjab. हमारे यहाँ पे जो होता है ना, मोटे को कोई मोटा नहीं कहता, हेल्दी बोलते हैं कि लड़की थोड़ी हेल्दी है. जब कोई बताता है ना कि हमारी लड़की थोड़ी हेल्दी, तो मान लीजिए कि वो क्विंटल की होगी. Please not mistake your extra weight as strength. आप लोग तो यंग हो, आप जरा जाके थोड़ी दिन ना ब्रूस ली की फिल्म देख लेना, पुरानी वाली डॉक्यूमेंट्रीज. ऐसा लगता था टीबी का मरीज है. If you see his performance, you would be shocked. आप में से कुछ लोग पुशअप्स करते होंगे. ब्रूस ली को उंगली के ऊपर, उसकी डॉक्यूमेंट्री पड़ी हुई है, उंगली के ऊपर कर लेता था वो पुशअप्स. बदन में कुछ नहीं था, खोखला. हमारा दिक्कत ये है कि गोल मटोल बच्चों को देख के, गोल मटोल लोगों को देख के हम समझते हैं कि ये स्ट्रांग है. दे नॉट. पतले होना बहुत अच्छी बात है. एंड डोंट इवन गो बाय द चार्ट्स गिवन बाय द वेस्टर्न पीपल अबाउट हाइट एंड वेट. दे डोंट अप्लाई टू अस एशियंस. वी हैव टू बी 8 to 10 kg बिलो दैट. यंग एज में सब कोई भूत होता है, हमको भी थोड़ा मस्कुलर बनना है. बहुत काम खराब कर बैठोगे. If you are muscular at this age, if you are big built at this age, by the time you reach 40, you would look like a patent tank. Don't do that. You'd be harming yourself greatly. Okay? Is spicy food good for health? In the right quantity, spices are very good. Spices are very necessary in the kind of temperature and weather we have in India. But like any other good thing, they're very bad in excess. If you use too much of them, you are in trouble. तो जो घर में माँ डालती है वो तो ठीक है, और वो जो आपके इंदौर की 56 गली में जो स्पाइसेस पड़ती हैं साहब, वो खतरनाक है. तो उससे जरा बच के रहिएगा. आपकी 56 गली बहुत खतरनाक है, जिसमें मेरे ख्याल है कितनी 1000 डिश मिल जाती है. और I know it's dangerous to be in Indore. My son is married there, so I know it. It is dangerous. तो उससे बचिएगा. Spices otherwise are not dangerous. I'm quickly trying to answer as many questions. What should we avoid during COVID? All junk food should be avoided during COVID. COVID loves your junk food. It loves junk food more than you love it. You may like your junk food, but COVID likes it even more. It will have the first priority. What is the advantage of eating jaggery? The advantage is it is not as harmful as your white sugar. It doesn't cause the same harms which they do. Okay. What is the difference between junk food and fast food? एक नागनाथ एक सांपनाथ, कोई बहुत बड़ा फर्क नहीं साहब, दोनों इकट्ठी एक ही जैसी चीजें हैं. They match each other. What about 14-hour fasting every day? It's not needed. See, in India, we always had intermittent fasting. In most of the villages, they still have this intermittent fasting. Their dinner is over by 7 o'clock, and then they don't eat anything till morning. Keep yourself to 12 hours. If you take it to 14 hours or 16 hours, one, you eat junk food. Like you stuff yourself. You eat so much at one go, it is dangerous. Don't go for that. 14 hours is just about okay, but I would recommend that you keep it to 12 hours, and at night. Do not, if you feel like doing a fast, do not skip your lunch. I can bet around 4 o'clock you will end up overeating. Don't do that. Do it only for dinner. Avoid your dinner. And even if you are not able to fall asleep, please do not raid your fridge at midnight. That can be dangerous. Why mishri is suggested over sugar? Mishri is suggested by only the mishri makers. It is as bad as sugar. It does not provide any additional advantage. Don't be mistaken by their propaganda. It is as bad as anything white. With skinny guys like me are not able to build up muscles. I have doubled my diet, but still, you congratulations. If you cannot build muscles, you are lucky. People gaining muscles are not in luck. बकरीद पे कौन सी बकरी कटती है? जरा थोड़ी भारी होती है. तो अगर आप भगवान से कटने में बचना चाहते हैं तो मसल्स मत बनाइए, छोड़िए इसको. जितने दुबले पतले रहोगे बहुत अच्छे रहोगे. How many hours of exercise students should do daily? 1 hour of dedicated time and 1 hour of being active throughout the day. One advantage of being young is that you can turn everything into exercise. You can run, you can climb stairs, you can play. It is all exercise. The problem arises with old people. At young age, you take stairs at the 2. At the old age, you take tablets at the 2. So better go for, be active throughout the day and you will be doing great. I'm eating more food in evening and night than in morning. No, it is not at all okay. It is dangerous. At night time, your capability to digest food is minimal. So the breakfast and lunch should be bigger than your dinner time. Don't eat too much of food during your dinner time. What should we eat to burn fat? You don't have to eat anything to burn fat. You are not to eat anything. Eat minimal and you'll be fine. Just do not eat too much. And by the way, your fruits, veggies, and sprouts are your best bet against any kind of weight, but in their natural form. Do not let them.
So
How
they
to
are saying
care about your
soft drinks. That is very dangerous. Soft drinks are harmful.
soft drinks. Don't even get me started. If I thank God I'm not somebody in the senior position. Otherwise, I'll put a ban on your soft drinks.
Absolutely.
They are, I mean, they can't be worse than anything. You know what? We want to avoid acidity in our body. I know whether you already studied this, there's something called pH balance. Water is at neutral, number 7. Anything more than 7 is alkaline. Anything below 7 is acidic. So something at 6 is 10 times acidic. Something at 5 is 100 times acidic. And something at 4 is 1,000 times acidic. You know where water is? It is at 2. It is 100,000 times more acidic than it should be. And if you have to neutralize the acidity caused by a single bottle of your cola drinks or your soft drinks, you know how much water you're supposed to drink? 30 glasses of water. If you want to get rid of that acidity, 30 glasses of water. And this is the poison they're feeding us, and we people are falling like flies over it. They are so rich just because we cannot make do. Why not do with your simple Nibu Pani? There cannot be a better drink. There
The
cannot
big
be a better
conspir-
soft drink.
It is a big conspiracy of multinationals.
Believe me, the kind of money they make is huge. The young students should know this. When the Apollo project was on, Coca-Cola was willing to finance the whole space project with the only one condition that it should be painted in the shape of a cola bottle. Can you imagine the kind of money that requires? Where does it come from? From your pocket and my pocket. Please don't fall in this trap. The soft drink is going to cause you very hard problems. Please watch out. Okay. Prasad, can we spend another 5 minutes? How
Yes,
much
sir.
time
Yes,
do we
sir.
have?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How much protein take in a day? Please do not take any protein. You need the maximum protein when you're growing up as an infant, and you know how much milk your mother's, how much protein your mother's milk have? 2%. You don't need too much of protein, my friends. Even when you are at your maximum growth, you don't need protein. This is the biggest fraud played on gullible people. Forget your proteins. Just forget it. I can tell you a simple formula. You can be short of protein only on one condition. If you or your family is so poor that they can't even afford a house and a scooter, then there is some chance that you would be short of protein. If your father or your family is rich enough to afford even a scooter, then I can bet that you are taking twice or thrice more protein than you should. And you're still worried where my protein is coming from. That's the biggest tragedy. You don't need any protein supplement. Your roti, your dal, your chawal, they'll take care of everything. Any vegetarians here? They must be worried. Where do we get our protein? Because all meat eating people say, kuch to kha le, kahin to protein aayega. My dear friends, your dal has more protein than chicken and eggs. Why don't you understand? Never be worried about shortage of protein. You only need to be worried about having too much protein, because too much of protein is terrible for your kidneys. All right. Are dairy products good to take only if your mother is a cow or a buffalo? We have been sold this lie that dairy products are very good. They are not. If you can avoid them, nothing like it. At least avoid where you have thickened something. Milk, I don't mind. Yogurt, I don't mind. But the more concentrated it is, the more dangerous it is going to be for you. So watch out. Could we gain weight? Could we gain height? Depending upon your age. Up to 18, you can gain height. Eat right, exercise right, hang. Do some hanging exercises. They're very good for you.
So एग के बारे में इनको बता दीजिए, बच्चों को रहता है अंडे कितना खाना चाहिए?
अंडे का साहब ऐसा है कि अगर पहली बात मेरी माने तब तो खाइए मत, लेकिन अगर खाना भी है 3 eggs per week. अब आप कहोगे 2 अंडे के नीचे तो ऑमलेट ही नहीं बनता है, तो साहब वो जो 2 अंडे का ऑमलेट आप खाएंगे वो आपको जब आप 40 की उम्र में पहुंचेंगे तो आपको फिर वो 2 गोलियां भी रोज खिलवाएगा. ये जो बेसिकली एनीथिंग व्हिच दे हैव टू एडवर्टाइज इन द पब्लिक फोरम्स, वो आप छोड़िए. ये जो सारी कहानियां ना, संडे हो या मंडे रोज खाइए अंडे, ये काफी खतरनाक मामला है, तो इससे बचिए. Up to 3 is safe. That is all I'm saying. You don't need that. But if you are vegetarian, you don't have to eat egg. If you are eating egg, do not go more than 3 per week. You'd be doing yourself a great service. Okay? I'm not gaining weight. You will gain weight. Don't worry. Can we use sweeteners? No, please. The problems with sweeteners: one, the more sweetener you eat, the more would be your urge to eat regular sugar. 2, the more sweetener you eat, the more you will hate your vegetables. And 3, most of them are made from chemicals like saccharine, Aspartame, xylitol, all three have been at times accused of being carcinogenic, cancer causing. I don't know what tricks they play. They are banned, they again come into the market, they are up to some tricks. In the advertisements, they seem to be very safe, they are not. And your internet, your Google is full of the scholarly articles on that. Avoid your sweeteners. The best sweeteners are fruits. Your mangoes, your grapes, your bananas, they are the best sweetness that you can have. I think we have run out of time. There's so many questions. I wish we could continue, but it'll be.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and do good, be good. All the very best to you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for making us aware about the killing effect of phone and junk food and having healthy diet. It has been wonderful listening to you, sir.
My
Now,
pleasure.
let me call upon Adarsh Navneet Sinha from first year CS branch for vote of thanks.
Thank you, please.
Adarsh, please unmute yourself.
Hello, sir.
Hello, please.
A warm and graceful noon to our Honorable Speaker, Dr. Amar Singh Chandel, sir, respected DG, sir, CAO, sir, principals of IIST, IIP, and IAMR, worthy HODs and professors, and my dear batchmates. It's my privilege to propose a vote of thanks. I, Adarsh Navneet Sinha, from CSE branch, extend a really hearty vote of thanks to our Speaker, Dr. Amar Singh Chandel, sir, who spared his valuable time from his busiest schedule to grace the occasion. Today, we had an opportunity to hear your thoughts on how phone can be a killer and how we can care from it. It was an eye-opening lecture, sir, and we students come to know many new things which we were not aware of. Sir, we are very grateful to you for sharing your practical knowledge about such an important topic and enlightened our mind and have shown us a different side of our phones which seem to be friendly but is killer in daily lifestyle. And we also come to know how and what to eat to be healthy in this COVID condition. Thank you so much, sir. On the behalf of all students, I also show gratitude to our DG, sir, for organizing such lecturers for us. Thanks a lot, sir. Last but not least, I would like to acknowledge the contribution of each and everyone who worked really hard to make today's session grand success under Abhigyata Parv 2020. Thank you very much. Good day.
Thank you very much. But as a parting kick, let me answer one question. This is more not a question, but an observation. It says veganism is a stupid idea because we can't support such a large vegetarian population. This is a stupid accusation. This world can support 50 billion people on a vegetarian diet than the difficulty that we are facing in having only 8 billion people because of meat eating. The biggest problem is the meat eating. You can support 50 billion people if only we can cut out our meat. Thank you very much. See you again sometime. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. Thank you,
Thank
each
you,
and
sir.
everyone. Students, please stay with us.
Thank you.
Some moments are treasure for a lifetime. Dear students, this is one momentous moment filled with loads of new beginning, allowing you to enter into a new world of possibilities, a major step towards your evolution into better human beings and future professionals. This is the moment to walk towards engineering career. Now you will be interacting with your mentors, that is your respective departmental heads and faculties. Let us proceed towards the departmental interaction. All the CSIT students stay on the same platform, and for the rest of the branches, link